Of all the eloquent, flowery, scientific words to describe it, it was actor Robin Williams who perhaps best summed it up. "If it isn't God's backyard," he said, "then he certainly lives nearby." Glacier National Park, 1 million acres, 400,000 hectares in northwest Montana, is one of America's best. Nicknamed the Crown of the Continent, it's part of the Rocky Mountains, merging with Canada's Waterton Lake National Park to protect wilderness. But Glacier National Park is not what the name suggests. If you were here in the 1850s, you would have seen 150 glaciers. Today, there are fewer than 25 remaining, and they're disappearing rapidly. So much so that scientists fear that at this rate, there may be no genuine glaciers in Glacier National Park by 2030. Climate change means that there is more snow and ice melting each summer than accumulates each winter. According to the National Park Service, temperatures in Montana have risen almost 2.5 degrees Fahrenheit since the early 90s. Photographs taken from the same location decades apart show the impact of climate warming on glaciers in the Glacier National Park. It's what those melting glaciers have left in their wake that gives us the stunning national park as we see it today. As the glaciers carved their way down the mountains, dragging rocks some as big as houses, they left an incredible legacy. Stunning lakes, icy blue rivers, and classic steep-sided U-shaped valleys. Today, Glacier National Park is an environmental treasure trove. Forests, alpine meadows. It's home to 270 species of birds, 70 species of mammals, from mountain goats to black and grizzly bears. By far the most numerous species are tourists, 3.3 million a year, the 10th largest number of all national parks in the United States. For the adventurous, the park has more than 740 miles, 1,200 kilometres of hiking trails. For those not into backpacking, cycling, camping and skiing, there's one of the world's most scenic drives through the park. 50 miles, 80 kilometres, over the Continental Divide along the road called Going to the Sun. Construction began in 1927 with pack horses carrying supplies, tools and dynamite. It took 5 years to build. The first cars drove over the rough road in 1932, but it wasn't fully paved until 20 years later. It's still regarded as a major feat of engineering, now in the National Register of Historic Places and officially a National Historic Civil Engineering Landmark. Going to the Sun Road takes its poetic name from nearby Going to the Sun Mountain. According to the Blackfeet tribe who inhabited the eastern side of the Continental Divide, a god came down from the sun to teach them hunting. When going back to the sun, he left his image on the mountain peak as an inspiration for the tribe. There's evidence of human habitation here from more than 10,000 years ago. The first Europeans to come here were fur trappers, followed by miners and settlers looking for land. Northwest Montana opened up to mass migration with the completion of the Great Northern Railway in 1891. But there were already strong moves to protect this rugged wilderness and its incredible scenic beauty. George Bird Grinnell, editor of Forest and Stream magazine, is credited with the push to preserve it. His campaign taken up by local and national newspapers. It was declared a national park in 1910, the 10th national park in the United States. The story of Glacier National Park began 1,600 million years ago, when shallow basins in a massive inland sea were filled with sedimentary rock in places up to 4 miles, 6.5 kilometres thick. The mountains began forming about 70 million years ago, when tectonic forces pushed the land up and created the Rocky Mountains. The latest ice age began about 2.5 million years ago, forming huge glaciers which filled the valleys with thousands of feet of ice. Geologically, the glaciers here today are relatively young, formed just over 6,000 to 7,000 years ago. Although they are retreating at a rapid rate and may soon disappear altogether, the National Park Service says it has no plans to change the name of Glacier National Park, because the glaciers were instrumental in creating one of the world's great environmental wonderlands. If you don't get to see Glacier National Park before the glaciers melt, you will certainly see the amazing legacy that they have created.